Hello, my name is Leah Dancy and my co-host is Danielle Mitchell. Welcome to this special edition of Bowie Youth Showcase.
The Bowie Youth Showcase deals with all issues concerning young people, and on this special edition, we will address a silent killer that attacks young lives and follow them into adulthood.
We are now going to meet a survivor of 21 years of domestic violence. In the studio, we have with us a 36-year-old survivor of domestic violence, Miss Bridget Blakely. Miss Blakely is on a crusade traveling the world to help save our women who are affected by this cancer. Welcome to the show, Miss Blakely. How are you?
Thank you. I'm well.
Very good.
Thank you so much for helping us help others. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started.
As you said earlier, I am a 21-year survivor of domestic violence, and I have started a nonprofit organization called Me Too to empower women to stand up, speak out, and drop the mask.
Very good. My first question, why did you cause this crusade?
Because domestic violence is something that a lot of us brush under the rug, but I am here to bring it to the forefront and let women know it's okay to drop the mask.
Why exactly did you choose the mask?
The mask represents a covering, and when you're in a domestic violence relationship or situation, you want to cover, so the mask represents a covering.
How old were you when the domestic violence started?
I was only 14 years old when the domestic violence started.
And how would a parent know if their young person was involved in a domestic violence? Like, what kind of signs would you see?
You would see various signs. I have those signs listed on my website. There are 7 different steps. But if a teen actually starts to withdraw, you notice that the teen's time is only spent with the intimate person they're involved with, unexplained bruises, just the time management. They can't stand to be without that person. They get nervous with time when it's not spent properly.
Now, you mentioned your website and you've already given us some tips or some signs that parents perhaps could look for if they suspect they have a teen who's involved in a violent relationship. Can you give us some more details about the signs a parent should look for?
Yes, the signs a parent should look for if that teen gets nervous, as I said earlier, so to speak, if the intimate partner is very controlling of that person's time, he or she can't stand for that person to be without them. They want to actually control that person.
Why do you think that these issues aren't being addressed more?
Because they're being brought to the forefront more. We have more teens that are actually affected by domestic violence now.
And how do you think this actually happens or starts?
Well, actually, domestic violence knows no barriers. It knows no culture or economic background. So you can't just say how it starts. It's just like a cancer. Sometimes you can't pinpoint it.
In your opinion, is domestic violence directly related to childhood experiences in any way?
No. It depends upon the person, how that person wants to handle a situation.
What type of male strikes a female, in your opinion, and why do you think it happens?
As I said, you can't say what type of male because it knows no economic backgrounds. It knows no color. We can have a man that's a president of a company strike a woman, and you would never know because he may appear to you to be the perfect person.
What would you say a young person would do if this were to happen to them?
What they need to do is tell their parents, and then they need to contact the police and then get with a safe haven to go over steps to make sure that that person remains safe and do not get into that situation again.
Do you think that men can be the victims of domestic violence?
Yes, I actually had a call from a gentleman that called my line, and he was actually telling me that it was more so verbal versus physical, so yes.
Are there any final tips that you can give us regarding what signs parents should look for if they suspect they have a child, a daughter perhaps, who is involved in a violent relationship?
As I said, unexplained bruises, the time management, the controlling issues of that gentleman or female that may be dating that teen. If those are something that you're really skeptical about and you don't feel comfortable about, please address them.
Very good. Now, how can we contact you? What is your web address?
My web address is www.meetwodropthemask.org.
That's very important. So I certainly hope people who are in this kind of situation will take a look at your website.
Yes. It's a lot of information there that can actually help them, so I hope they do.
Very good. Bridget, I'd like to ask you, how did you feel and what did you do once you realized you were a victim of domestic violence?
Well, actually, I didn't realize I was a victim of domestic violence until I was in my 30s, because I always felt like it was just an argument or a misunderstanding that my ex-husband and I had. So to actually say I was a victim, I don't say that. I always say that I was victimized because I lived my life in a fog. I was trying to be somebody that I didn't want to be, that I didn't know, because you got to remember, this all started when I was 14 years old. I was only learning myself, but I had to lay myself down and pick up someone that a 21-year-old man wanted me to be. I didn't know how to be a woman, but yet he required me to be a woman. How does a child become a woman? So I didn't know that I was actually a victim of domestic violence until I was in my 30s, because I was concealing it so nobody would know.
You were living in a very dangerous environment. How were you able to extract yourself from that?
Well, actually, I wouldn't say that. A lot of people say, well, oh, you're in a domestic violence situation. It wasn't that he came home every day and beat me. That wasn't the issue, but he did. The last time, it was just like something just came over me and said, this is it. You can stay in this and eventually die, or you can get up and live. I found myself in a jail cell when I called the police to help me. So when you have to lay in a jail cell and you've never been in that situation before in your life, that will bring you to your knees and you will know it's time to leave. When you have your baby say, Mama, no more, it's time to go, then you realize it's time to live, it's time to drop the mask.
Well, I'm so glad that you were able to remove yourself from that situation. And I do want to ask you about an important event that recently took place. I understand it's called Drop the Mask Walk.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about that?
Yes. Actually, we had the walk about 2 weeks ago. Me Too sponsored it. It's actually a walk to call out all victims to stand up and speak out. We had over 100 participants for the first walk. It was just tremendous because you had people calling, registering, and just the pour and the outreach of the community, just telling you their stories and how much this is needed because we brush it under the rug so much.
I think Danielle has a question for you.
Yeah, can you elaborate a little bit more on why you chose the symbol, the mask, to represent your cause?
I was actually standing in the mirror one day, and it just came over me. What did I do, or what was I using to conceal this cancer, so to speak, all those years? And when you want to cover something, you use a mask. And the mask was like a covering for everything. You can't see what's going on my face. You don't know because I'm wearing a mask. But the mask is off. And I'm dropping it, and I just want to speak out. And maybe I can help save a young life, a woman's life, to let them know it's okay. It happened to me too. But I'm still standing. I'm okay.
This is such an important issue. I just want to make sure our viewers have your web address and give us a little more information about the kind of resources that are available on your website.
Well, my website again is www.meetwodropthemask.org. which is TWO.dropthemask.org. And on my website, you will find the the 7 steps of things you can find out what's going on with your teen. Actually about me being a liaison with the safe houses and just actually empowering a woman to let them know it happened, but it's not your fault. It's never your fault. And I'm here with you, standing side by side to walk with you to help you through this.
Really good information. It's such an important topic. I'm so glad you were able to join us today.
Is there anything else you would like to say relating on how you can help young men and women through these type of situations?
I would like them to realize that it is never their fault. Do not accept, I'm sorry, this will never happen again. Because if it happens once, it'll happen again. Break away. Tell anybody you can, because if you don't, you're only concealing a cancer, and you want to heal yourself and live.
Once again, Danielle and I can't thank you enough for coming on the show and sharing with all of us your experiences as a survivor of domestic violence. We're very happy that you were able to take down the mask and tackle this issue. Again, it's a very important issue, and we thank you for joining us on this edition of our show.
Thank you.
We hope this special programming helps save some young person or any person's lives. See you next time on the Bowie Showcase.
Okay, let's see.